Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown episode 197. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and I'm joined by Chris Seeley,
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Carlos Romero,
What's good? What's good?
Brian Manjoma,
Happy birthday, Carlos.
and Adam
Thank you.
Vale.
Oh, you like video games?
All right, what's going on, people? All right, Brett will be here a little bit later. Manny can't join us because of a little bit of an emergency. Hopefully, everything will be all right there. And since Manny's the only guy who's usually on camera, I'm like, why the fuck should I be on camera? So you're just going to see my stupid fucking ugly face there. So another one of those weeks where stuff happened, but it wasn't like crazy big stuff, but we got enough of it to hopefully fill out a pretty good show here, Actually, before that, Adam, what's been going on? You were telling me some shit about some hard drive issues that PlayStation owners should be aware of.
Yeah. All right, so this is
Vamping.
I'm sure a lot of people don't know this because this is one of those things where, oh wow, I didn't even bother. So anyway, I have internal 2 terabyte and an external another 2 terabyte. So I'm running out of space, right? Long story, so I'm running out of space. So I go and I get a 4 terabyte external. So I plug it in thinking that I can just transfer the 2 terabyte external data to the 4 terabyte. Right? You could do that on the Xbox. Anyway, I get this error message. It's like, boop, boop, something's wrong with the hard drive, this and this. I'm like, well, maybe I just have to format it. So I go to settings, devices, go to format, and it says, you are only allowed 1 external drive on the PS4. I did not know that. And I'm like, why would they do that? So what if somebody wanted to get a larger hard drive? How do they go about doing all of this? You have to re-download everything or reinstall if you have them from disk. So it turns out, at least in my case, since I have the equal amount of space and then I have something else larger, I have to do like a round robin. So I had to unplug my current 2 terabyte, then format the 4 terabyte, transfer everything from my internal, which is the 2 terabyte internal, over to the 4 terabyte, unplug the 4 terabyte, plug in the 2 terabyte old one, transfer everything from the 2 terabyte to the 2 terabyte internal, right? Unplug that one, plug back the 4 terabyte, transfer that over. Then that way I have everything in and everything off the 2 terabyte.
Yeah.
That sucks. The fact that, but that was the only way. And I'm like, why would they do that? Like, I don't think when they announced that you could have the external drives, what was it, like last year? They never said it was a limit of only 1.
No, they didn't.
And it's like, and I know for sure on the Xbox because I had the same type of thing. I had a 1 terabyte external and a 2 terabyte. And I was like, oh, and I plugged it in, and he even said it, showed him up, and he's like, oh, you want to transfer everything, you want to move, or you want to keep both, whatever. And that's what I thought this was. I did not know there was a limit that you could only have 1 external.
Now, I gotta ask a retarded ass question now. Can you only have 1 external, associated with the PS4, or only 1 external plugged in at a time? How is it?
It looked like it was plugged in at a time. Once I plugged in, it just instantly gave me that message.
Okay.
Because I figured, well, at least let me format it. No, you can't format it until you unplug the other one. So it wouldn't let me do anything.
Now, what if I had like 2 hard drives and I plug in? Let's say I plug in hard drive A, right? Everything's cool. I unplug hard drive A and I plug in hard drive B. Would that still be okay?
Well, the first thing is your system file.
And they're both formatted and everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything's fine on that end. Now,
it's good. One of them's not going to see. You could have it all set up. I have both of them, and I've tried that too. I plug both of them after I unplugged one, format the other one, and then I plug both of them in. It only sees 1.
Okay, no, but I'm saying, okay, I understand you can only have 1 at a time, but can you have like separate hard drives and just plug them in individually?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted. Yeah.
No, you could have if you want to plug them, because that's what I was doing.
Okay.
That was transferring back and forth, and then you'll get a message saying that there was something wrong and they have to do a repair. Like, if you ever lose power, everyone has
all that bullshit.
Yeah, you've seen that error message. Like, oh, something's wrong. You want to do a quick repair. That's what you're going to do. Basically, it just scans it to make sure that you have the right to use all the content on it. And then once it's done, but that's what I was getting. I did get that message, do that, and then everything's cool. And then I just finished maybe like an hour ago because it took hours to do all this. Been doing it for over a day now. And, and I tested out. Everything worked for the internal and the external. But, man, that was, and then sure enough, when I looked it up online, there's a lot of people had this issue and they couldn't believe it. They're like, why would this happen? Why would they do that? You know, it's people same thing, or maybe some people had just like an external 1 terabyte. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade to 2 terabyte. Nope, you gotta figure out another way. You know.
Damn.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. But that's good to know, though. All right, quickly, I want to give a shout out to some of the heads in the chat. John Erdal, where the fuck have you been, brother? Been a while. We got Zara's Great. My favorite name here, Chicken Ass. The X Skull, you know, and holding it down as always, Solitary Zombie. Good shit, man. All right, so let's get right into it. So we got our two main topics are both about Bethesda. Interesting stuff coming out of that camp. So the first one is that Bethesda is trying to sue an individual over a game resale. Tell me if you heard about this shit. So basically, this dude, he bought The Evil Within 2, right? But he didn't open this shit, right? He was like, you know, I'm going to sell it. So he sells it on the Amazon Marketplace. Bethesda, they catch wind of this. Like, listen, if you try to sell our game like that, we're going to sue you. And I'm like, hold up. It's his fucking game. How are you going to try to sue this man? You know, so I don't understand what the fuck's going on. You know,
I got it. Well, they explained it. They explained why. Is that you can't. He's not a official reseller, and since he did buy it, and he's trying to say that it's sealed, they can't verify that it was sealed. You know, maybe he had his own shrink wrap, and he's trying to sell it new.
It's a stupid technicality because he's trying to sell it new, saying I didn't open it, so this is technically new. But there's two things working against him. Like, as soon as you purchase from an authorized retailer product, doesn't matter if you don't open it, it's considered refurbished. After that, it's not new. As soon as it leaves the retailer's hands and is in your hands, it's not new. The gray area is that people sell things as new on Amazon, and there are copies. Like, if you go on Amazon right now and go to new and used copies of Evil Within 2, there's plenty of people who do this. So I don't know why they decided to pick on this guy. It's kind of weird.
You think they're like trying? Yeah, you think they're trying to make him an example or something?
That's the only thing I can think of, unless somebody has a grudge against him. Because I found a bunch of people. Kristen went and found that there's people doing the same thing he's doing. Then nobody's bothering them. They'll sell games as new. They'll get from GameStop or whatever. Go back, buyer's remorse. Fuck it, $60 new. They sell it.
There's always a first. Yeah, there's always somebody.
Oh shit! Oh, a little bit off topic here. John says that Paris from Gamertag Radio shouted me out on a recent episode for my tweet about game demos. Shout out to Paris and the crew from Gamertag Radio. You know, Pete Rock, Danny Pena. You know, shout out to all those brothers out there, man. But yeah, that is weird. And by the way, Fergus says that he sold his copy of Wolfenstein New. So why didn't they go after him? You know,
it's all it's whoever they catch. But you know what? Stores do this because I remember a long time ago I ordered oh man, damn, fuck, I forgot the name of the game, but it was a wrong copy. It was supposed to be for Xbox, and he sent me a PS4 one, and I was like, you know what? It was still wrapped up, so I was like, you know, I'll just bring it over. I think I bought it at ToysRUs.com or something, but I just said I'll bring it to my GameStop and trade it in. Still wrapped everything, and the guy said he had to open it, and I mean, it really wrapped. Like, remember when they did the sticker seal inside that says the name of the game on the side?
Man,
so everything, and he says, no, I have to open everything, and it's gonna come in as used. We can't, it doesn't come. I was like, but it's brand new. You could see it doesn't matter. That was my first experience with that because I was like, but I don't get it. You could see it's not been tampered with. Doesn't matter. I have to open it up and I have to bring it in as a used game. So you're only going to get the used price for it.
Here's my question though. This doesn't GameStop pretty much like base their entire business model on doing this shit?
Oh, speaking of that though, here's another flip on that. There was one time that I went and it was a wrestling game that I wanted. I think it was All Stars, and I went over to it was a one on Steinway. If you remember, there was two GameStops that used to be on Steinway, which was weird, right? So one closed down, and then the woman was a evil woman. So I go in there one day, say, all right, yeah, I want to get this game. She was like, okay, well, here we go. She opens up she looks around, she doesn't have it, but they had the one on display, the one they were playing. She takes that one out, puts it in the case, and gives it to me. And then she charged me full price. I'm like, well, that's the used one. That's the display. She's like, no, it's new. No, it's not. You just took it out of the console and it's been running in there for who knows how long. She's like, no, that's not how it works. Right, so it's still in-house. It's new. We get to this whole thing. I was like, I didn't want to art. Fine, whatever. I planned on getting it, today anyway. So I got it. I go home. Now it came with remember when it came with those cards to get like DLC guys and all that stuff? So I had a card. So I go, I enter the code, and it says it's already been redeemed. So then I go back to the store and I'm like, yeah, I entered in the card and it said that it was already redeemed. And she's like, that's impossible because it's new. I'm like, we just talked about this. That box with the card was somewhere in a drawer or something, and you had the game in the display, the 360 display there. It was playing, so it was not new. So maybe somebody else that works here and she, is it really that big of a deal? I'm like, that big of a deal? I'm paying for this. That was the whole thing. You're not giving me anything that this was supposed to be in there. You buy this game, you get this card. And she's like, oh, whatever. Here, just get your money back. She said just like that. I said, all right, thanks. I took the information down and I called up their service line. I filed a complaint against her and the store. I'm like, this is BS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy,
so then,
man.
Sure enough, that's the one that closed down.
Well, maybe that's why,
Thanks a lot, Adam.
Yeah.
She was horrible.
No, fuck GameStop. Adam did a public service, man.
Yeah, because that's not how you treat people. And how do you call something that's already open and being played on the monitor in the back new? If that's your last one and that's a display one, like for example, clothes, right? I've had times years ago when I was big into getting all kinds of clothes, and I remember there was Carl Kanai. There was this one jacket. I was like,
Old school, man.
There you go. So it was on Delancey Street, and it was in a display window. I was like, yeah, I want that jacket. It was a large. That was the only large they had. Now it's in the display with the hot light on it. Might be a little faded or whatever, but they gave me a discount. They took like 20% off because they were like, well, it's been out there. It's on display, so we'll take some money off. Okay, well, this shit's been running for who knows how long, getting hot and the lasers hitting it. You know what I mean?
Yo, I'm just thinking like GameStop, they sell its new game with an asterisk on it, because there's something. By the way, Richard's in the chat. He goes, Adam will definitely be reselling his new copy of WWE 2K19.
Boy, he's trolling me on that. Oh, that's a whole other. We're gonna be talking about that shit tomorrow. A lot of news dropped on that, and it's a piece of crap.
WrestleCast, motherfuckers. WrestleCast.
My life back due to popular demand. Juanito over in fucking San Juan, Puerto Rico, just got power, and he just set that shit up. He's like, yo, when you coming back? I'm like, oh shit. He's like, I got power again. It's only took a year, and I'm missing my WrestleCast. So we're like, all right, we're coming back.
Yo, that shit is crazy, man. But anyway, so are they able to move forward with this suit? Because I don't know if I got that from the story. Like, I'm like, what the fuck does Bethesda hope to get from this man?
No, it's just a cease and desist type of thing.
Okay, because I'm like, yo, like this a little. No,
they're not
dude,
suing.
man.
It's just like stop
they're
this.
threatening them. Yeah,
it's like if you keep doing this, because the thing is,
yo, that's like Donald Trump trying to hustle me out of $1. It's like, you don't need this money, son.
But it's sort of trying to nip something that's already been around. Everybody's been doing this for a long time. So like, let's say you buy something, or you have your old games, you buy a used game, whatever, you cleaned it up, you have a shrink wrap machine, or you know how to wrap shit, and you just wrap it up. And then now it's new because you took all these pictures and it looks like it's wrapped. We don't know. We don't know if it's new. You know what I mean? So it's a scam, and that's why they're just trying to crack down on this, because they don't want it to run rampant, and everyone's doing it. So somebody had to be the fall guy, and this guy is the one.
I guess
now it's been happening for a long time. Hell, even GameStop used to do it. Back in the day, remember going in there, people bring in something that's fairly new game. Go in the back, shrink wrap it. There you go. Put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. But yeah, I guess we'll keep an eye on to see what happens. Corey, you crazy, man. He goes, Todd hates babies. Crazy, bro.
But why doesn't Bethesda go after GameStop then?
Yeah, they should. That's what I'm saying. Like, GameStop literally business models all on this, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid and petty to see them going after people who purchased their game. Like, if you think about it, they're like, it's pretty much what everyone's been doing. Like, are they going to go crack down on every garage sales and shit? Like, stupid.
The only thing I can think of is that they've probably seen an increase in this, or maybe there's been some complaints of people saying that they got a certain game and it has scratches on it and stuff like that. Hey, I bought this as new and stuff. So they're probably just trying to think about it. It made big news now, so maybe this will discourage others from doing it.
It's not like Bethesda games are like not selling that well. Most games they do are sell really good. Shit, Skyrim's still selling.
I got that shit on my toaster, son.
Shit, the toaster, new Samsung refrigerator has that. You just fucking Alexa plays with you too.
Yeah, he even said it. We keep making it because you guys keep buying. I'm like, Okay, it seems like you guys aren't struggling to like make ends meet in fucking Bethesda right now.
Yeah, but no, let's go after the little guy. You know, fucking crazy. Brian, what's your thoughts on this bullshit, man?
It sounds like a really dumb technicality, because like just about what I read, it just seems like the guy just marked it as new when it wasn't really technically new, and that's what the big issue was.
That's
It wasn't the fact that it was like used or something. It was just like he was marking it as new, even though it was unopened. So it just seems like technically it's not new because it was purchased, so it should be classified as something else. And yeah, so it just seems like a dumb like wording problem than anything else, which is at the end of the day is quite dumb in and of itself. But hey, it's Bethesda. Like, let them do whatever the hell they want to do. If they want to act dumb, then they're like, well, they can act dumb, and we can see what happens.
Yeah, I have another word for it, but we don't have to say that right now. It's a family show. Anyway, let's move on here to the next topic. More about Bethesda, and I wish Brett was here for this one. Basically, for the lack of a better term, Bethesda is trying to strong arm Sony into crossplay, man. So they have this new, what the fuck is it, an Elder Scrolls card game or something?
It's like a card game, yeah.
Yeah, and they insist that this game is dependent on crossplay to work, and Sony isn't, they're not playing ball. So they didn't say it directly, but they're trying to say like, okay, we're not going to have our game on your system, right?
Oh, no.
That's not what. Listen, what do you, anyway, because I have my own, I think I have my own solution for what Sony should do, but I want to hear what you guys think about this situation.
I think this is not even that, because I read that and I heard it. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What he's trying to say is this game is heavily based on the whole sharing the community, cross-play, all that stuff. Just giving Sony a heads up, because obviously they're going to put it on there. There's 60 million people. You can't deny that. But
82 million people, sir.
There you go. 82 million people. There's definitely going to be some kind of backlash, just like with the Fortnite. So they've just given them a heads up. Hey, if this game catches on like wildfire, get ready for the backlash, because this is a big part of the game.
Yeah,
this
but
the backlash really hurt Sony, didn't it?
Yeah, I know that's what Bethesda's bargaining arm is, but that bargaining arm is really weak. That's literally the strong hand from Scary
Your
Movie.
bargaining posture is highly dubious.
Yeah, literally, Sony's like 82 million versus your card game.
Yeah.
Who loses here if we don't comply with you?
Yeah,
right?
We don't even know. It might suck. It might be a horrible card game. We don't know.
Yeah, but it's a card game. I'm sorry, who gives a shit?
And people like Hearthstone. I'm still waiting for that to come to any platform besides PC. I don't understand that shit. And
go ahead, Chris.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's so Sony's the one with the stronger bargaining arm here. It's like, hey, in terms of the console wars, it's done. We call it. We got it right. So you want our player base. We're not doing crossplay. You can put the game out. There's plenty of people to play your card game on in the PlayStation. That's how they look at it. I'm not saying that's the right thing or whatever. I'm not arguing that. I'm just arguing that Sony's position is very strong, right? So for Bethesda to go, well, we won't give you the game. Sony doesn't lose anything by them doing that. So I don't understand what their bargaining position is. Like, you're not getting this card game, and they go, that's your loss.
Well, I think, you know what, there was from the article and from the interview, it looked like they were just being put on the spot about it. It wasn't something that they brought up. They just said, hey, this is this game, it's a card game. Guy was like, oh, does it do crossplay? Oh yeah, it does. Well, not with falsies. Oh, you mean with the PlayStation? Oh, well, no, you know what I mean. Like, it's heavily on that.
But see, like, I would think if Bethesda really had the stones to challenge Sony in this department and say, you're going to bring crossplay to your platform, or else we are not bringing future Bethesda titles to your system. We'll withhold Fallout 76. We'll withhold Doom Eternal. We're going to withhold everything else. No more updates for anything else on your system until you solve this problem. That would be a strong position. That'd be like, holy shit, they are going all in. They're willing to do it. And then see if Sony changes their mind, because that's much stronger.
So here's a question linked to that. Which, I don't think they're a strong enough studio to do something like that, but which would be, like, let's say Rockstar. What if Rockstar said no Grand Theft Auto 6?
Oh yeah, no, that would definitely get Sony to the table.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
They said, oh, we don't like what you're doing here. So you know what? we're gonna withhold Red Dead on your platform, but they already made all the deals and shit. But if that hypothetically that happened, Sony would definitely be talking like, "Oh shit, wait, let's talk about this."
Yeah, no. If I was Sony right now, I'd call their bluff. I'm like, word, okay, don't put your shitty card game on our 82 million selling system. Don't put your game on here. Let's see what happens, man. Let's see how well it does on PC and Xbox. Have fun. You know, come on, man, get out of here. Sony's in a stronger bargaining position here.
Yeah.
You're right that if Bethesda was like, we're gonna withhold all our shit, then that's a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But even then, if I was Sony, I'd be like, you know what? Go ahead, don't put it in our system. Let's see what happens.
No, that would be the answer. The only way to get to make a strong stance, at least in principle, I'm not saying Sony would capitulate. I'm just saying in principle, you would look strong if you say all our future stuff is not coming to PlayStation unless you reconsider cross save. That's a strong principled position. I'm not saying it would work. They probably go that's your loss. You want to deny 80 million potential sales for Doom and the next Elder Scrolls? That's your loss again. So I don't think they would do anything. It would take a much bigger studio like Rockstar.
Yeah, then it would be serious. But I think, you know, even Bethesda, if they decide to withhold all their games from PlayStation, it'd be like, okay, it's your loss, man. You're fucking lost then.
It would only look principle, but it would be really their loss. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's a whole bunch of money you're losing. So, it's weak though. Just to withhold this card game, an unproven thing that you just. What the fuck is the card game? Is it based on Elder Scrolls?
Yeah, it's just like their version of Magic the Gathering.
Oh, great! We don't have like a million of those already.
Yeah. Well,
and Sony be like, okay, everyone can play Gwent later.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Then now they got Gwent that's coming out, and speaking of Magic Gathering, it's been forever. I mean, they didn't even make a new version for this current gen. So who knows? Like Hearthstone, I don't get it. Everyone's like, oh yeah, can't wait to play Diablo on Switch. And Hearthstone should have been the first game on there. That's a perfect game to play on the go.
Yeah, that's true. Wild Bread appears, by the way.
Oh, Brett.
Super effective.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, everybody?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, Brett, what's your take on Bethesda trying to strong-arm Sony into cross-play?
I understand why they're doing it. And I think that Bethesda is doing their part if this is what they want to happen, but it's going to need to be more than Bethesda. You're going to have a multitude of developers making their desires known. And then you still may have Sony telling them straight to fuck off. I think Sony and Microsoft and any of the major game companies, they really should be concerned about public opinion right now more than normal because of where we're sitting in the console's life cycle. So I think if a bunch of developers came out and said we really want crossplay and Sony's stopping this and Sony responds with a big old fuck you, I think that could hurt them on the launch of the next console generation, especially if their competition doubles down on the the whole like, well, we're the only company that's free and open to play with other platforms kind of thing. So I think there's damage that could be done here, but I think this is it's a small piece of a much larger puzzle, and nothing's going to be accomplished by Bethesda drawing this line in the sand, but something could be accomplished by everybody following the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If it's a bunch of developers, then maybe. But Bethesda with a single card game, that's not going to change nothing.
Yeah.
No,
we had just talked about like maybe what if Rockstar was the one that started it, and said, hey, no Grand Theft Auto 6 unless you make this change. Maybe that might do it, but I don't think Bethesda. Especially like,
I mean, they're not Rockstar. I'll grant you that, but only Rockstar is Rockstar. Bethesda is a pretty heavy-hitting studio. So it's not a small gesture, but again, like, and what's weird is, so it really matters in. Context really matters in this. So if you're looking back on it in 10 years and be like, remember when we got crossplay and Bethesda did that thing, then you look back at them and right now and say like, okay, they did exactly what they should have done and everything they could have done. Without that success though, you're looking at them and saying, okay, well, you're just being kind of petulant and kicking and screaming. It's not really accomplishing anything. So it's the best I can describe it is it's like trying to start a riot. If you're the only guy trying to start a riot, you're just some crazy asshole kicking over trash cans. It really depends on whether or not the rest of the people join in the riot, because if they do, then you're not a crazy asshole kicking trash cans. You're a riot starter. If they don't, then you're just that lone nut job. Even though you haven't done technically anything different, it just really matters whether, same with the slow clap. Like, if everybody else joins in, you've successfully done an amazing thing. If nobody does, then you're just the asshole who looks really awkward in front of everybody. So context is really important in this situation. But, I think Bethesda did the right thing. If this is what they believe in, and if this is their choice as a publisher, and they feel that Sony is constricting them or hamstringing them in any way, then it's their right to say, this is what we want. I don't think that they're gonna actually pull their shit off of Sony, off of the platform, but making your reservations known, that's reasonable in my opinion.
I think eventually it will happen. Just like, and I always go back to what happened with Sony when they were talking about online play and they were being interviewed. Remember that? And it's like, oh, well, Xbox 360 is going to have on. Well, we did our focus groups. We talked to our community. They're not really into that. So that's not something we're looking into. Sure enough, we wound up getting, PlayStation Online and Plus and all that stuff. People wanted it. So I think if people really make a fuss over it, it'll eventually happen. Maybe not in this gen, maybe next gen. But
yeah, by the way, kind of related today, Sean Layden tweeted out a picture. He was at some event and he was there with our boy Phil Spencer, right? Like I said before, I honestly believe, or at least I could see crossplay between PlayStation and Xbox in the future, right? But I'm still sticking my foot on the ground with this. You're not going to see crossplay between Sony and Nintendo. Too much bad blood there. Never.
And it's funny because Microsoft and Nintendo are like across the street from each other in Redmond. They're like really close. I mean, proverbially, it's down the street. I don't see Phil Spencer taking a picture of Reggie or anything. Yeah, Nintendo don't play nice with anyone, but with Sony, that blood is bad, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's bad. And then, people are like, hey, look, Microsoft and Nintendo came together because of Minecraft. Yeah, because that's a fucking Microsoft game, Come on, man. But yeah, Sony, again, I really do believe, I think we're going to see some kind of crossplay between Xbox and Sony. Again, these guys know each other, they're friends with each other. Sony and Nintendo, no way in hell.
Yeah, man, so Sony would capitulate on Xbox and PC. That's it.
Yeah, that's a Japanese pride shit, man.
Yeah, man. I can't wait till Console Wars, the movie, comes out, because I know a lot of people who didn't read the book.
Yeah, the book is amazing.
Every time I tell people about like all the drama, they're like, "What, Nintendo? No," they just don't see it. So I know all the gamers are gonna go out and want to see this movie, and they're gonna be in shock. They're gonna be in shock
if they portray Nintendo correctly. You know,
Tony, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What if Sony, do you think it would be possible for Sony to possibly play ball with Nintendo if they required some sort of tithe? Like, you have to pay our Sony fee if you want this to be cross-platform, but sure, we'll let you pay your respects and play in the Sony game.
The thing is, Nintendo ain't gonna pay no tithe, No.
Yeah, Brett, like I've said before, like, Nintendo refuses to use anything with the Sony brand on it. So when they buy, and they have had offers, when they buy their bulk TVs for events like E3 and stuff, Sony is blacklisted. They will not buy a Sony TV, a speaker, nothing. That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
When they had the Vios, no, that wasn't an option. If you want a PC, you ain't getting a Vio when they were making those. So,
people really need to understand the bad blood between these two. They don't like each other. Let's think about this. Every time,
but they were the backstabbers. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, it is. They were the backstabbers. Yeah, you're right about that. But it goes both ways. But think about this. Every time a big Sony game drops, right? Microsoft executives are out there congratulating it. Every time a big Microsoft game goes out, Sony executives are giving it props. You never see that shit between Nintendo and Sony. Never.
Never. They refuse to even do Blu-rays. Went back to fucking cartridges. What the fuck?
Right. That's right.
No, there's a dirty secret, Carlos. The Wii U is a Blu-ray drive. They just disabled any movie playback on it.
Shoot. You know what? The truth. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised
Hate-
Nintendo didn't go that far and start making their old TVs just to play the old retro games, because that's another market. I know a lot of places, a lot of people, like when they build their collections, collecting these old console games.
they need a
Yeah, they go
CRT.
for the CRTs. So I'm surprised that Nintendo says, guess what? We have all these old games and we now make these old CRTs, and now you can go and get the full experience.
Man, it's crazy. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about this Bethesda? Actually, no, Brett. What are your thoughts on Bethesda trying to sue that one guy for reselling a game? You hear about that?
I've heard of this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Basically, there's this guy who bought the Evil Within 2, new, I guess, right? And and it was still in shrink wrap, so he went on the Amazon Marketplace to sell the game as new, and Bethesda's suing the guy now.
Well, it was a cease and desist.
It was cease and desist.
Yeah, take the shit down. Stop doing it.
Why?
Because they can't verify. He's not a reseller, so they can't verify that it's actually new. He could have just shrink wrapped it. So that's why they felt like, hey, if you own it, you bought it from a store, then you have to sell it as used unless you're a proper reseller. Then you can have the right to say new.
Yeah, proper reseller.
Yeah,
that's fucking pathetic.
Yeah, exactly. The conclusion we came to on the podcast is that basically because people do this shit all the time, they just want to make an example of this guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm torn.
Why is that?
Oh shit.
Well, I've bought games before in shrink wrap that have turned out to be like AOL discs. And I'm severely unhappy about that shit. So it is actually a real problem. And I've had it happen from online purchases, which were, my fault, I'll admit. But I've also had it happen at big box retailers. But the difference is the big box retailers, you can go back, and I always got my money back. This has happened to me a few times actually. So I can actually understand a little bit of where Amazon is coming from. I see no reason that Bethesda should be included in this discussion at all, though.
Well, they're the ones that brought the cease and desist.
No, I know, and that's what's weird. Like, Amazon does have a leg to stand on. Bethesda doesn't have a leg to stand on, in my opinion.
But again, Bethesda's not going after Amazon. They're going after this individual specifically.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, the logic makes no sense. So, like, let me get this straight, Bethesda. You're concerned enough about Amazon's policy to step in and save poor little Amazon from this bad seller of one game. It doesn't make sense. And I realize they're pushing it through legitimate channels, and there is some legitimacy to what they're saying, but it has no relevancy on the thing they're actually bringing to bear. You know what I mean? Like, that's like it's like me canceling a picnic because of the off chance of bear attacks. Well, I know I can't even come up with a good metaphor for that. It's so backwards. It's the thing that they're complaining about is technically something that is a fear and something that has the right to be talked about and is legitimate, but it has no bearing on them. So that's what gets me confused, which then leads the whole thing to be transparent. Like, you're just being transparently petty.
I think maybe sort of like what you said, where sometimes you bought a game and you opened it up and it was an AOL disc. Maybe somewhere in this world, someone complained or people complained of buying Bethesda games online and finding something else inside. And so when they did some investigating, they were like, hey, these are just people that are shrink wrapping and putting shit inside. They're not official resellers. So maybe that's what's going on here. And this guy just so happened to be someone who made his who got vocal about it and told some sites like, hey, but I'm sure there's probably others that were like, oh yeah, I got this. I mean, this happened one time with Gears of War with Manny. Manny made me a little toy and he posted up online, look, I made this little toy, and it was really cool. And he received a cease and desist from Epic Games. Like, yeah, you can't sell this. You can't do it. He never said it was for sale. He said, I made it for my cousin for his birthday. He's a big fan. That's all it said. Didn't say anything about contact me for orders or any of that shit. And they still sent him a cease and desist. So
lawyers get trigger happy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what they're paid to do.
Yeah.
That's what they're paid to do.
I can also understand, and this is where I drift off from a lot of people in the sense that I need to explain I'm a small business person. I'm essentially my own LLC, and so I take a lot of stuff from kind of a business point of view. And here's the long and short of it. I realize that the game may have been unopened, but the second it leaves a reputable store or retailer in the hands of a private party, it is no longer to be considered new. You no longer have any kind of guarantee of what kind of treatment the game has had. Even, they could have spilled Sprite all over the whole thing and then rinsed it off. It's the same reason, and the same laws apply for a lot of the same reasons.
Oh, like getting a car. You could drive a car right off the line and just do a UE and say, yeah, I want to bring it back. That's it. The value depleted. It's used.
Yeah. Exactly. Even in the sense of you can't really have an intermediary party handling food a lot of times. Like the restaurant can't take food back. Have you ever wondered why, if you get your order wrong at Burger King, they just tell you to keep it? Because they can't take that burger back. Even if they just handed the bag to you, saw it sit in your passenger side seat for a minute, and then come back in, they have to treat that as if it's no longer viable, because they don't know if you fucked with it in any way or devalued it in any way. Yep. So in that aspect, it is perfectly reasonable to take the blanket stance of, you are not a verified seller. We have not been in contact with you. We have no way to verify that you are treating these games correctly, or that you're even actually selling the product, or that you're not, jacking the price up or ripping people off or mishandling it in any way. There are agreements that retailers go into with the suppliers that cover this kind of thing. So essentially, they're not going to let somebody off contract sell their games when they require other people to be on contract or agree to these terms. So that honestly all makes a lot of sense to me. And I think the big problem here, what I'm hearing, is a lot of people think it should have been able to sell new. And the crux of the issue here is, no, it shouldn't have. He should have been able to sell it used. He took it out of the store. It wasn't his game. I don't care if it's opened or not. Did you have it in your grubby little paws? Did you put it in your car? Was it not with the rest of the games? Is it directly from a supplier? No. Well, then it's used.
He had it for months too. Like that. I remember when he talked about it, he said he bought it a long time ago. He had a bunch of games, and it was just in his collection, and he didn't play it. So then he decided to go and sell it since it was still wrapped. So that's the other thing. Like, well, we don't know. You've had it forever now.
As long as he's allowed to sell it used, I don't see anybody imposing on his freedoms here. It's just a company basically saying, like, no, you don't have the right to vendor this as a new game.
Yeah, I think Brett, you made the point though that Amazon should have it set up like you shouldn't be able, unless you're an authorized store, you shouldn't be able to label whatever you're selling as new. Like I went and Krista went and checked, and I went and checked. If you go look for Evil Within 2 and you go to people, like random people, not Prime eligible, nothing, they label the game as new. They sell it for whatever price they want. They sell it new, and it's not new.
That's something that I agree 100% that Amazon should fix this. Amazon is the culpable party right here. But with a lack of response on Amazon's side, again, I'm not defending Bethesda here. I'm not coming to guns from them. This seems, by the very nature and how quick that it happens, like it's a kind of a petty dick move. And it's probably a petty dick move from somebody in their PR. Like I'm not going to crucify the whole company for it though.
It's funny how Bethesda like puts all their chips on the table for this one dude, but when it comes to Sony, they'll put their card game up.
That's a good point. Principal stance, man. Like,
well, it's a little guy versus big company type of thing.
Yeah, they're full of shit, man. All right, moving on here. Okay, news topics. Got to talk about this dude again. The ongoing saga of Filip Miucin, a.k.a. the IGN guy who plagiarized a fucking review. So, he made a bullshit apology video a couple of days afterwards, right? And in the video, he specifically goes, "Oh, Kotaku, if you want to, try to find any more examples of me plagiarizing, go ahead and find it." He issued this challenge to Jason Schreier, who is one of the few actual investigative journalists in the gaming industry. So you know what happened next. He found all kinds of shit. It got to the point where IGN had to delete everything this man's ever written for them because everything was fucking ripped off. He even stole shit within IGN. It's insane. And then I saw this other example. Basically, he asked a coworker, "Hey, I'm gonna do an interview tomorrow, and I need to ask some questions. Do you have anything for me?" So he gave him some examples of questions to ask. He took every single one of those questions word for word and used them for the interview. And here's the thing. Here's some, and this is just for me personally. Interviews are even easier than fucking news and reviews. You know what you do in an interview? You ask fucking questions. That's all you do. I'm going to give you guys a quick story. E3. This is going to be a little bit embarrassing, but I'm keeping it real right now, right? I went to Bandai Namco. I thought I was going to interview the director of Soul Calibur, right? Which I did interview eventually. I go in the room and I see the guy, and I don't really know these developers by face or whatever. So I see the dude and I ask my first question. And then the PR guy stops me like, whoa. This is the developer of Jump Force. This is not the developer of Soul Calibur, right? So they all gave me this look like, oh shit, this guy's not prepared. I'm like, okay, I'm going to ask him some fucking Jump Force questions. See how easy that shit is? I didn't need to prepare. I just asked some fucking questions. I interviewed the director of Assassin's Creed. When I came up with my questions literally 5 minutes before I interviewed him while I was waiting for him to be prepared. Interviews are fucking easy. You don't need to be asking somebody, hey, can you tell me what to ask this guy? Come on, man. And then, obviously all that shit got deleted. But this guy is like, this is the reason people are mad. It's like, bro, you had the sweetest fucking gig. You were like writing for IGN, big time for IGN, right? And you had to go do this shit. Like, oh my God, it's crazy,
okay,
man.
Hold on. In fairness, I have a few questions.
Yes.
One, Tony.
Yes.
Tell me a little about yourself. What are your biggest weaknesses and what are your biggest strengths?
In general,
he's creating.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, there you go. No. No, guys, stop. Brett, keep going. I know where Brett is going with this. Keep going.
Out of all the other candidates, why should we hire you? I'm going off a template here. Is this not working?
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if we talked about this last time. This guy even copy and pasted his fucking LinkedIn profile,
his
bro.
LinkedIn.
Okay, I gotta ask, who did he plagiarize the apology video from?
Oh,
I have a question. Is Filip Miucin his name?
Wait, that was an apology video, Brett?
Yo, yeah, this guy didn't apologize for nothing.
Yeah, by the way, I want people to understand, Brett came up with those fucking questions on the spot. Yeah, that shows you how hard this shit is.
Yes.
Come on, man.
And also, like, this guy's obviously gotten away with this for a long time. He's plagiarized pretty much everything he's ever done, and he's gotten away with it. So he doesn't know how to do any actual work, like an actual interview, write a review, whatever. He's just got somebody like Jason Schreier should just pull up his school records and be like, "Where'd you go to school, man? Let's see."
Yo, imagine that shit.
Oh,
Imagine he goes that deep into his like high school shit, and he's like, "Yo, I see this essay for English, whatever 101, and it's like you copied this book exactly."
Listen, Jason Schreier is the super Saiyajin, man. Don't tempt this guy, man.
He's a Pusha T of the fucking video game industry.
And also, this guy, what's his name?
Jason or Philip, yeah.
Philip, yeah. You are full of yourself. You are a dumbass because you challenged the internet to go find that shit, man. Like if it wasn't Jason Schreier, it'd be someone else.
Mm-hmm.
But he went and dug in your past. Like if he goes to your college, bro, you better hope your mom framed that degree and hid it somewhere because maybe that's the next thing to go.
Yo, again, I love it. For Octopath Traveler, he copies another IGN guy shit.
Yo, man.
Yo, man. Look, the guy fucked up. Like, I kind of, everyone fucks up occasionally, So you kind of feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad for this guy. I don't feel bad for him.
He could have just said he was sorry and moved on. When you
exactly. Like
that's when it gets.
Like I don't know, like maybe like because because he's like in the center stage and the internet like is all piling on him. Like everyone is talking shit about this one guy because like I'm like, well, maybe he just I don't know, maybe he fucked up. Like he just fucked up once.
No, but see,
I would that's where I keep going. And then he does the video, and he's like, "What are you doing? This like just apologize and move the fuck on." And he fucking challenges fucking Jason Schreier into a fucking like investigative journalism shit. And he's like, I'm like, yo, bro, man, you're just a fuck up, man. Because like any sympathy anybody had for this fucking guy just went out the door.
Yeah, I want to know if he has any more fans. I remember those idiots on his video. Oh, you're gonna make it, Philip. It's okay. Blah, 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 kissing his ass.
Yeah, how do you feel about that now?
You know, go ahead, Brian.
Oh man, like so many things to talk about. Like that quote unquote apology video, like where he doesn't say sorry. Like all he had to do was just turn around and say, "Okay, look, guys, IGN, I'm sorry. Boomstick Gaming, I'm sorry. The fans that believed in me, I'm sorry. For those of you that are doing the same thing as me, don't do it. It's bad." And that's all. Like 10 seconds maximum. But no, he goes on this whole tirade about some nonsense, and the worst part is that like he made out as if like he plagiarized by accident. I'm just like, how did you plagiarize by accident? Like,
Oh, he
really, like
fell
how do
and
you
hit
plagiarize
Control
by
Alt C.
accident? So it was just dumb. It was just dumb, and the whole thing about like the second that he like challenged like Jason like the showdown, I'm just like, no, don't do that. Do not provoke the internet. The internet does not forget. Anything you
Yeah.
do on the internet is just there forever, and people will find it. I mean, look, people dug up James Gunn's tweets from 10 years ago. So you think that they won't dig up your stuff like 10 years back? Oh no, they will. And when they do, they will go and use it against you like mad.
Yo,
Yeah,
Brian,
but
you know what it
now-
reminds me of, man? It's like that one meme. It's like, oh, baby, what is you doing?
Yeah,
Well,
I
actually
mean,
did that. Oh man.
yeah, I mean, you have to be in a special bubble to think that every other journalist is as lazy as you. Like this guy, some do their due diligence, right? And to challenge him like, "Oh, he's a good for nothing." Well, nobody, no, you're the only dumbass who's copied his whole life, you know. And I would love somebody to find out. I would just someone to dig a little deeper, find out where this guy went to school.
Oh man, yo, but Brett, he makes good videos though, right?
Oh my god.
Of course.
Well, yeah,
Yo.
he makes good videos because he gets the good content.
Yo, who edited his shit though? That's what I want to know, man. I don't trust nothing about this guy now, man. Like, yo, you're fucking plagiarizing your LinkedIn profile, interviews. Come on, son. Like, you know, I mean, I you know, going back to what you were saying, Carlos, about everybody jumping on this guy. Like, I haven't said anything about him publicly because you know everybody's already on his ass. But yeah, this shit is bad, man. I'm a little mad about it because, like, yo, I'm sorry, and I'm saying this as a gaming journalist myself, right? This is one of the easiest fucking jobs you could have, bro. You play some games, you write about them, you regurgitate some fucking news, and that's it. That's all you gotta do, man. It's like it's not that fucking hard. Jesus, man. Like, you know how many the reason people can't get a job in this industry is because there's so many people trying to get in the door, you know? Come on, it's like one of the most coveted things out there, and this dude, like, again, it's like
The most popular site.
on the most popular site. Again, it's like, how are you gonna plagiarize a fucking opinion? That's the thing I don't get. You know, I could understand you didn't cite a source or something for a news story. Okay, that happens. But a review, really?
So Jason, did he point out like the certain ones that he?
Jason's written like 4 fucking articles on this guy.
Yeah, that dude went in.
Yeah.
My man ain't playing, you know? And you're right about that, Corey. IGN, even though it's not their fault, the reputation is ruined now because of this shit. For years, this guy fucked it up for everybody. And you know, here's the thing no one's talking about, right? Now, IGN is not going to go after anybody that's on YouTube. Talented motherfuckers that could have potentially had a job at IGN. They're going to be passed over now because of this idiot, you know?
They just hired some big name guy.
Yeah, because they got a spot open.
Yeah.
You know?
Who was it? There's some guy they just hired.
But yeah, it's crazy. And I'm wondering, yeah, Chris, like, yo, what else is going to come out about this guy? Maybe he's not even American. He might be illegal. I don't know. This is serious right now.
Oh my god.
He's 3
could
topless
he-
in a trench coat.
Yeah,
Like
right?
you said, is that his real name? Did he copy someone else's life? Somebody look for Philip in the woods somewhere. There may not be him.
Brett, did you say he's 3 midgets in a trench coat? Oh, this is
But
insane.
yeah,
No.
that
He's a cocker spaniel on his hind legs and a top hat.
Yes.
man, there's nothing that gets into my nerves more than a fucking video of someone exposing themselves after they got caught red-handed, trying to act as a fucking victim. I'm like, bro, you fucked up, apologize, and just end this shit. But no, he fucking, oh man, that shit just pisses me off. I'm trying to fucking fake cry and shit.
Yeah, that was some
Fuck outta
bullshit.
here, man.
You know, and I can't even say it's some millennial shit because Carlos is a millennial. He called that shit out too. You know, that guy's just a punk. You know, doing that weak shit, man. Come on, son.
I don't even know how old this guy is, man. I don't even know whether to call him a kid or maybe he's older than me.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I could call him a kid, but still, damn, son. Mentally, he's a kid. That is some kid shit, you know?
What's kind of funny here isn't the fact that he's a thief and spectacularly bad at his job. What amazes me is how spectacularly bad he is at being bad at his job.
Yes. Yeah. Man.
Like you could even be a good plagiarist or a good thief and still be bad at your job, but he's not even good at that.
Yo, who monetizes an apology video?
Oh,
you know,
that was
Like you have to do that manually too. It's like you have to make that shit monetize. It doesn't do it by itself.
actually, no. If he uploaded it, then it is automatic. If it's streaming, then you gotta do it manually. But yeah, but still, it's like he could have disabled it. He could have easily done that, but he didn't. He wanted to make his money. Guy's a fucking scumbag. I'm sorry, man. Actually, I'm not sorry. Fuck that.
Okay, here's my theory now on like why this whole thing has transpired. Maybe this whole thing is just his application to be a politician.
Oh shit, that's what Fergus said in the comments.
Damn it, motherfucker! Stole my joke.
Yeah, yeah, but they heard it from you, Brian. So don't worry about it. Oh man,
like it's crazy. Like it's hard to unify the gaming community. I think this guy just did it.
Good point. Everybody's hating on this guy. Nobody's on his fucking side,
The final twist, he's like Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah, pretty much. Man.
Oh, you mean interdimensional space aliens that were faked?
All right, man. Let's move on here. This is interesting. So everybody knows that Yakuza is a really big franchise now, right? Like it wasn't like that before. It's slowly over the years become really big, and this generation specifically, it's just I wouldn't say blown up. Obviously, it's not on GTA levels, but it's really, really big, right? Apparently, back in the day when the franchise was first being can I say the word proposition? Is that too dirty? Because that sounds dirty. Anyway, when it was being put out there, it was put out there to Microsoft and Nintendo, and both rejected it. They both rejected the shit. Sony took Yakuza. Come to find out that now they want it. Ain't that about a bitch?
Well, that's many years later, though.
Yeah, but what it is, though, because it's money, because it's making money. That's why they want it,
Oh, yeah. But it took a long time for it to make this type of money. Because remember, Yakuza's been around for a while.
Yeah, it's been around since PS2.
Yeah, PS2. And it was okay, but it was never like, yeah, I can't wait to play the next Yakuza. So.
Yeah, so I found that very interesting how, like, they both passed on it and now they both want it. If I was Yakuza, I'd be like, man, fuck you guys, But realistically speaking, it's like, yo, put them on this shit, man. Make your money,
Yeah.
The question is, Chris, let me ask you this. Will Microsoft guys buy this shit? It's a very Japanese game. There's no fucking, westernization at all. Super Japanese game.
Well, it's the thing with the perception of guys like Crap Gamer and stuff versus the reality. Guys, what else you got to play? So, I mean, add something to the library. Enjoy it.
What happened, Brian?
They have Avengers to play.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you mean literally hit the play button?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, Brian's right though. Infinity War is a 4K exclusive on Xbox.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Man, I still need to get that shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Nintendo. It would
I
be.
got it.
Yeah, Yakuza. I think Yakuza would fit really well on Nintendo.
Yeah, well, to Switch owners, they'll be like, Yakuza, is this a new game? I never heard of this.
That's right. Just like Gone Home, right? Like, what is this Gone Home? I never heard of this. This is
Who's
new?
Sega? What?
Oh man, that's funny. But anyway, I just had to throw that in because I thought it was just funny. It's like, oh, now you want this shit? It's like, yo, you know what it reminds me of? Like, you mean imagine you're like this fucking dwarpy kid and shit in high school, right? You know, girls didn't want to mess with you, right? Then all of a sudden you come into money and shit, looking slick and everything, looking mad clean. Now these girls want you. It's like, man, get out of here, man. You put your hand to the face and just push them away, you know? That shit is funny, man. All right, moving on here. Hey, Brett, this one's for you, brother. So PlayStation VR, this is from today too, came out. PlayStation VR has sold 3 million units and a total of 22 million games worldwide. That is impressive. Where the fuck is Brett?
I mean, it's not bad.
Like, I thought the shit was going to bomb, but this is pretty damn good. You know,
which one? What
of
PSVR? PSVR.
Yeah, it just has enough relevance for Sony to just barely care about.
Yeah, that's the thing. It didn't blow up.
What was it that you said before? 83 million PlayStation 4 owners.
82,
and then this is only 3 million. That's
I mean,
not
yeah,
even 1%.
No, you're right. In that context, obviously, but compared to the other VR machines out there, this is the biggest seller. You know, but yeah, I think Carlos hit on this. Like, it's not big enough where it hit, you know, our favorite word, the zeitgeist. But it's just big enough for Sony to continue promoting this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting.
Yeah. I think the only way it'll get there is when they make the wireless version.
It's in between. It's in between a PS Vita and a PS Move in relevancy for Sony. So we'll see where it goes from here, man. I don't have too much faith.
Yeah, neither do I. But it's still, you know, it's still money. You know. By the way, here's my question: how much did the Vita sell in the same time frame? Because the Vita still sold more than PSVR, but PSVR's only been out for like a year and a half, I think. That's what I want to know. But
2 years, I think.
Yeah, but I think Sony's just making just enough money. Just enough.
Well, if you're talking about gimmicks, I wonder how many units of Move. Remember when they did the Move one?
Well, they're selling all the Move shit now.
No, now they are. But I mean, when that first launched, how many people did that sell? Was that a big thing to get the Move 6? Like when the Move 6 came out, did you buy them?
Fuck no. That's gimmick ass shit, man.
There you go. A lot of people see this VR headset thing as a gimmick.
What's going on, Joey, a.k.a. Phantom Vash? He goes, PSVR was at 2 million sales in December, so around 8 to 9 months to sell 1 million. Okay. And Nate, what's going on, brother? He goes, PSVR isn't for everyone. My man Hussein, he says he loves his shit. He loves it.
I have to say, like, the PSVR they've been coming out with a lot of games lately, and a lot of the games actually look pretty good. So it's a small community, but it seems pretty healthy, actually.
Also, is it the most affordable out of all the other options?
Yes, it is.
That helps.
Nah, it's not more affordable than those cartridge ones.
Oh, well, that's not even real VR. Come on, son.
Yo, that's like comparing Tiger Electronics.
Exactly, man.
Tiger.
Strap your phone to your face and shit. You know? Out of here.
Oh man, I got cardboard, yo.
Fergus says that he uses Hulu and PSVR for the hell of it sometimes. Hey, man, you paid for it. Do what you're gonna do. You know.
You know what's creepy? I remember I tried. It was a Samsung box VR thing. Remember that thing, whatever it was, for the Samsung.
Oh, that cardboard bullshit.
The cardboard, man.
Was that it?
Cardboard VR.
So a
looking
buddy
like
of mine,
Stevie Wonder and shit, man.
He said, try this with Netflix. I'm like, okay. So I put on, that was freaky shit because I could see a big TV, but I see that I'm in like a living room and I'm on a couch. I turn my head to the right. I could see like a window and it looked like I could see fields. And to the left, there's like a fireplace. I'm like, this is creepy shit. Am I in someone's house? I can't focus on this movie. I feel like someone's going to creep up behind me. You know, I was like, oh, it was so weird. It's like being in someone else's living.
Joey says that PSVR user base has a pretty good attach rate, just like for new games, just like Vita. Yeah, if you buy the shit, if you have PSVR, you're gonna buy games because otherwise this shit's just gonna sit on your fucking corner, just like Carlos's shit. Carlos ain't.
Yo, I literally haven't touched that shit in years.
Yo, that shit is funny, man. But yeah,
have you checked out any of the new games for it?
Carlos.
Wait, what happened?
He asked you a question, motherfucker.
Oh, I didn't hear what.
Any of the new games for it?
Have I bought any of the new games for it?
Have you even looked at any of the new games for it?
Oh no, I haven't touched the PSVR since like for the first month.
Oh no, I'm just putting that into context. Like, yeah, you haven't touched it, but you also aren't even aware of any of the games that have come out in the last couple of years.
Well, the Resident Evil 7 looked good, but I'm not gonna play that shit.
What about the Doom one?
I mean, other than I say this because I was actually shocked that the other day I was just going through the PlayStation Store looking at some of their VR games. They actually have a surprisingly robust library, like I said, with some really cool looking games. I was like, oh shit, I need to bust out my PSVR again.
Yeah, but I
haven't touched myself in like 6 months.
Yo, Carlos, I got a question for you, man.
Go
Do
for
you
it.
care about playing any of these new games?
Well, because I was just really dissatisfied with the experience, the initial experience. Like you can tell, right? Like, you don't really get used to the. I mean, for me at least, the resolution, it's like too low. So you get
I agree with that. The problem is though, like, and I've actually thought about this, like, okay, to do a higher resolution, it would have upped the price point. So like, where's the happy medium? And this is something I'm actually curious to hear your thoughts on. Like, what's the happy medium in accessibility versus quality of a VR headset? Because we'd all love like the amazing ultimate experience for $300, but as that doesn't seem to be realistically feasible. Is there a sweet spot right now, or is it just because of the limitations? Is it just kind of doomed to failure by either being too expensive or not good enough?
I think PSVR is the sweet spot, bro. To be honest,
I think it is a sweet spot because that's just the most accessible price point for most people. Like even though performance is not, or even the quality is not up to par with the Vive or the Oculus. But yeah, for me, like I was just so like I mentioned, the resolution wasn't good enough for me, and oh man, it's just too clunky. All those cables get on my nerves. Like, because I have the OG PSVR, so it's not the most ergonomic one. So it's like, should I get another PSVR, which is much better than the previous one, or
yo,
I really?
Barry says, forget VR. I just subscribe to the scenery channel on my window shade.
There you go.
Yeah, my thing with VR is just I don't want to put some shit on my head to play games. Like but gaming to me has been perfected. You got a TV, you got a controller, you're good. You know, that experience has to gravitate you because like physically it's like demanding playing a VR game for long periods of time. Yeah. Also, the fact that I'm fucking handicapped and that shit is not really functional for me, and people like me. You know, I'm actually talking about man Paul Amadeus Lane about that. Like he had some horrible experiences with VR and shit. You know. So,
well, it's not only that, but like I don't know the way you orientate your head. Like I don't know.
It's just not for everybody, bro. It's just not for everybody. That's all it is.
It really isn't. And if it's for you, man, good for you.
Yeah, it's not. But Hussein, it's not really about having an open mind. It's just. It just doesn't work for you, you know.
Bro, I have a Vita. I have an open mind.
Yeah, see, Carlos got the shit, you know.
Yeah, like the Vita is not for everyone, but it's for me. But like the PSVR is not for everyone, but it's for you. It's like,
see, there you go, man. The visual novels, right, Carlos, for Vita.
The visual, yo, man. Korean dramas, man. That's just for me, not for everyone else, though.
Just for me.
You know, just for me. Oh man, Hussein says PSVR 2 is going to be lit next generation. If they do it, you know, we'll see about that.
Yeah, I have no idea to do that.
Yeah, I'll probably be more into something that has a higher resolution screen. So hopefully,
remember with 3D TVs, and they were like, "Oh yeah, get these glasses and you get TVs," and then that fade out, and they're like, "Oh, we got curved TVs. You want a curved TV?"
Like,
and then where's the curved TV now?
Yeah, exactly. It's I mean, you know, they have to try stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's all trying.
Yeah, Joey says his mom loves Korean dramas. There you go, Carlos. Yo, Joey, is your mom single, bro?
Whoa, not again.
I'm just saying Carlos is single too, man. I'm just throwing that out there, man. All right, man, and the last story here. This one I threw in there at Brett's request, man. This is fucked up shit. So EA deleted this customer's Origin account, and when he tried to get it back, EA's like, "We never heard of you, man." It's like, what?
That's fucked up.
Yeah, so Brett, explain this shit, please.
1 second.
This motherfucker, man. I put this story in there for him. He ain't even ready. He
I'm sorry, somebody came to the door. The dog is going fucking crazy.
Oh, no. I don't like that excuse. I thought it was you smoking. But yeah, this shit is bad.
So
okay, go ahead, Ben.
The basic gist of this is this guy lost all of his Origin account information along with all of his games. Well, he didn't lose it; it got deleted. And when he came back to them, they basically said they had no record of him. And when he showed them the receipts for the transactions and his purchases, their response was, "I'm sorry, we have no record of you. We can't help you." So it essentially got him nowhere, and he lost all of his digital library of games on Origin, which sucks in and of itself. But it poses a lot of questions to, we've often talked about with digital games and with games going the way that they do about how you kind of own them less than you used to. You used to actually own a game, and now you just kind of own the rights to the game. So this putting into clear contrast, we seem to have entered an age where our entire video game libraries are at risk. And I wanted to know, because I kind of know all your guys' thoughts on this in general, but I want to know what your thoughts are about video games as property and where we're going, in the future as we lean more and more on digital games. Is this something that's going to be acceptable? Is this something that's going to be widespread? Is this just an inevitability of digital gaming? So I just want to know general thoughts on this.
Yeah, this is something we've talked about on Throwdown, even the prehistoric days, man. It's like, everybody's jumping on board with the digital stuff because it is convenient. You and I get most of my games digital, but you don't really own that shit. And when the day comes, if they decide to pull that shit, which we've seen many, many times, you don't have it anymore. Meanwhile, if you want to play Mega Man X that you bought back in the day, you can still play the shit. Can you say the same thing for the Ninja Turtles remake? No. Can you say the same thing for Scott Pilgrim? No. Can you say the same thing for PT? No, you can't. So it's amazing to me how no one has really brought up a big stink about it. It's like, is digital so convenient that people are just willing to forego the fact that they may potentially lose all their games just for the sake of just having them all in one little digital place? It's always been a weird thing that no one seems to want to tackle, Because
the argument is, and this is a shitty argument, but the argument seems to be, well, I mean, that happens with physical games anyway. I bring it home, and there's a day one patch that I need to run before the game starts operating anyway. So, I mean, in 20 years, if they don't want my game to operate, it's not going to operate no matter what. And so it just kind of seems to be like, well, yeah, I know that we're fucked coming, but we're fucked going too. So it doesn't really matter. And that does not seem to be what should be the end of the conversation, but it just kind of seems to piddle out there for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too. It's like, again, it goes back. If you want to go back and play a Nintendo game, this shit still works, right? You can't say the same thing about Skyrim in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? That this whole digital thing, I think people, it's had more unintended consequences that people really didn't think about. But now I think the genie's just out of the bottle and we can't put the shit back in. It's going to be, for game collectors in the future, it's going to be a huge fucking issue. No one really thinks about those guys either. Chris, you and I have talked about that before. What's Metal Jesus going to be doing in 20 years? Fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that
resurrecting.
I mean, but yeah, besides the systems are going to degrade eventually. Like that Super Nintendo or that Genesis or whatever, it can only last so long, right? Until it just pins break or corrode. Capacitors wear out and whatever. Sorry, you just fixing that shit forever. That's why the thing with the ROMs and Nintendo pissed me off, because at least you had an archive or something. But this thing with EA, this is bullshit, man. And when he presented those receipts, how do you not look at them and go, "Oh shit, you did have an account. Here are the receipts." That's what a receipt is. Like, honestly, like, I want EA to burn to the fucking ground, but I wish this guy could go get a lawyer and just sue the fuck out of them. It's like this bullshit, like that's it. Origins shit, your shit. I'm taking you to court. And I'm glad that this story got picked up so that they could see this. So maybe now EA will do something about it. But they only do it for him. How many other guys is going to happen to? And what if this happens on another service? What if this happens on like Steam or something? Now, I doubt it would happen on Steam. I never heard of this, but this could happen, right? So that's the danger.
Again, people don't really think about it or want to discuss it. I think that everybody knows to some extent. It's just they're unwilling to speak about it, which is very interesting. We've seen countless articles, countless videos on this for years, no one's really bringing much attention to it. It's interesting to me.
Yeah. If I didn't back up my PS3, I wouldn't be able to play Scott Pilgrim anymore.
Yeah, or Ninja
It's gone.
Turtles, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. It's gone forever.
Well, and even then, like, it could extend further into, and we're seeing a lot of this in Twitter and a lot of social media right now. Let's say, hypothetically, Steam wants to start being able to ban people for offensive content, right? That doesn't seem so far unapproachable in today's world, or any gaming platform, right? Okay, that's fine. You get rid of bigots, you get rid of racists, you get rid of homophobes and all that kind of stuff. Well, when I used to play games with Rachel, my wife, and I'd tell her how much I absolutely loved her, and she made the sunshine every day for me, she'd look at me and go, fag. And I thought that was absolutely fucking hilarious. And anybody in our close circle of friends would also think that's fucking hilarious. Does that mean that wouldn't get picked up on Steam? Does that mean that she may have not gotten flagged for inoffensive behavior? And I'm realizing I'm going down a branch of, or down a path of branching hypotheticals here, but you easily find yourself in a situation where just joking among friends in something that's well received could get you booted off the platform. And what about all these digital games that aren't tied to your platform? If you get kicked off of Steam, what happens to your library of games? I mean, I hate to use the term slippery slope because it's abused so much, but that's essentially what this is here.
It's appropriate. The slippery slope is appropriate, especially like the climate right now. And not getting into too many details. If somebody doesn't like what you have to say, not even on that platform, let's not say it's Steam, but you could be on your social media and say something, and it gets back to a service like Steam or Origin, right? And somebody that doesn't like what you have to say, it kills your account. Like, what do you do? Like, there needs to be protections for these purchases, and they need to be treated like purchases, like you own the shit. Like, honestly, there should be some law or something saying that a digital purchase of a product is like, because if companies want to argue that piracy is like stealing from a store, then motherfucker, you have to acknowledge that if I pay you for a digital copy of a game, that shit's mine. And that belongs to whoever paid for it, right? I love it how they don't want to admit one way, but they want it the other way. They always argue, oh, that's like steal from brick and mortar if you do piracy. So how come when I buy a game, you're just saying I'm leasing it or whatever? I just own a license. No, I should own that copy of the game. I should be able to access it forever. And that should be a law.
Yeah, no, I agree, but again, no one seems to be making a stink about it, which is disturbing, to be honest. Like, I get my games digitally, whatever. They're never gonna go anywhere. Really, we've seen countless examples of them going somewhere. Yeah, come on, man.
God, yeah.
Fuck out of here, man.
I have a further, like, okay, so to this guy's like, well, my games are never gonna go anywhere. Like, then we run into the inevitable question of who bears the burden of warehousing the information for this game, right? Like, if I'm going to look at a company like EA and they're going to put a day one patch into the game, do I really want to look at EA and say, I'm sure in 20 years you guys are still going to develop or devote some time and some space on a server somewhere for this game code? I'm pretty sure you're going to protect my interests and continue to offer me a service 20 years after I've paid my initial fee that you don't see a fucking dime for. Like, no, that's not how these companies work, and that's never how they've worked. They're interested in bottom lines. Why the fuck would any of us think that they would just keep these games or these patches in perpetuity? They were going to play a 20-year-old game out of the goodness of their heart just because that's what they should do because you gave them some money 20 years ago. That just seems like unrealistic, borderlining stupidity.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the Throwdown crickets as always. Yeah, man. No, you're right. It's like they have no obligation to do that for you, and they don't get any money out of it anyway. So why the fuck should they? Well,
that's why I said it needs to be legislated. Like, you can't count on them to do that. They won't do it.
Yeah, no, they won't. But again, the genie's out of the bottle now, so I think that we're just stuck dealing with it. I don't see any other way around it, which fucking sucks. Oh well. All right, man. Since we still got some time and we got a bunch of heads tonight, let's go with what games we've been playing lately. Let's start with Chris. What you been playing lately, man?
I've been playing Dead Cells. I'm
shit,
actually playing it. I'm not I'm not taking someone else's video and watching it. I'm actually playing it with my hands.
You know.
The game is hard. It's tough. Like you end up dying, and it sends you all the way back to the beginning with no stuff. So it's more brutal than Dark Souls. You know, how you have your chance to in those games to get your stuff back. In this game, once you die, you, yeah, your shit's lost. Your shit's gone. Like, oh, and so you end up having to collect stuff and upgrade and get these blueprints, all this shit. It takes a long time because you're doing it over and over again and trying to figure out how to tackle a certain situation. I've gotten to the boss twice and then gotten murdered, and then you go back to the beginning. So it's frustrating as hell.
Man, but but like, are you enjoying it though?
Yeah, it's a good game. It's a good game. It's just brutal and unforgiving. It has some funny parts to it. I don't really understand the lore too much, like what the hell you're supposed to be. Like you're like a piece of slime that possessed an executed prisoner, and you run around like, I guess, seeking revenge. I'm not sure because you don't act like you're angry. You act kind of goofy, so it's weird.
So, like, do you keep your stats and armor or whatever, or everything's lost? How does that work?
The only thing you can do is purchase like upgrades and stuff, and those upgrades will appear in the game. Like, so when you unlock a blueprint of a sword, like you'll find that sword later, and then you can have certain weapons show up at the beginning, so you don't have to just use the default shit you always have. You can get this like better stuff, but it's random. It's not like I always want this weapon and this trap or whatever. No, it's just randomized. So you end up having to like cobble together stuff, or if you find it, and then you may get only so far, and then you die, and then you have to cobble that shit together again. So that's the really frustrating part about it. And it takes a long time for you to buy certain upgrades.
Man, by the way, Barry says that he's going to download Fallout 76 on Steam, but not play it and see if he could resell that. I don't think that game's not available on Steam, is it? Isn't it only through Bethesda's store now?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, sorry, Barry. But yeah, like Dead Cells, like artistically looks cool to me, but like all that permadeath stuff going back, I'm like, I don't know if I want to deal with that shit. But it looks nice though, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. And Chris, so you're telling me on the record that you are not plagiarizing your playthrough of it?
That's right. Yeah, I'm actually playing it.
Oh man, isn't that a concept? Playing games and actually having an opinion on them. All right, Carlos, man, what you been playing, brother?
Man, Heroes of the Storm, and that's it.
Damn, man. What about the Vita?
Oh yeah, I did play. I did the Riku method and was able to manipulate my Vita, and I'm and yeah, I got to do some classic stuff, man.
Yo, my man was dodging the mines, son. But I think people understand what the fuck you're talking about. Playing some classics, right?
Yep. Yeah. Good thing you mentioned that, because yeah, I have been doing that.
Yeah, because I remember you were telling me about that shit.
Yo, man, it's about damn time. That's one of the reasons why I bought it.
Yeah. Did we just lose Adam? What the fuck?
Yo, man. Yo.
Yeah, damn, man. He could fill out this whole segment by himself, and he left.
They gotta have something.
Gotta have some. All right, Brian, what you been playing, man?
Actually, I've not been playing much because I've been busy watching lots of anime. Yes, Carlos, I've been watching animes. I'm watching a lot of Gurren Lagann. So I actually managed to complete that like last week. So
nice.
Yeah, first time. Never did watch it before. Yes, I know, but yeah, whatever.
Don't worry, I gotta say that every time because I still haven't watched that.
Man, Gurren Lagann is one of the greatest anime of all time, man. Fucking
amazing. You'll be happy to finish that.
The ending, the last couple of episodes are kind of like a head fuck, but yeah, fine enough. It's actually quite nice. I actually went back and I've been playing Astro's Wrath.
Interesting.
I'm actually quite enjoying it. Like it's a nice like weird. It plays very odd. Like it doesn't play like games that you would think that they play like, but no, it's just odd. It's odd. I mean, like the whole gameplay is like you just keep attacking, and then the bar fills, and then you move on to like the next scene. Like, weird. Like the there's not much flow in it. In that, like, okay, you go after this person first since they have like most HP, or this boss, like you beat them up like in this way, like lose down the health. Like no, just like you fill your bar and then you press R2 and then the next scene. It's like it's weird. It's nice. It's fun. It's it is a nice fun game with nice and relaxing, and that's about it. I've not been playing much else.
All right, I got a joke that only Carlos is gonna get because it's only Hispanics will get. Yo, man, that game's trash, man. I call it Basura's Wrath.
Yeah, got it.
All right, but no, the game is fun though. Being all honest, it's fun, but it is weird. Like Brian, it's very weird. All right, Brett, what you been playing lately, man?
I finished Detroit Become Human, and got a wildly different game experience than Tony. So much so that it was actually a little shocking when we were talking about our game experiences. I think we pretty much played two entirely different games, didn't we, Tony?
Yeah, we kind of did. It's kind of interesting. Like every choice I made, you did the complete opposite, and vice versa. Very interesting.
So I finished that up, and I've been playing some GTA Nightclub expansion. Really, personally, I don't feel like there's a whole lot to play right now. I'm really thinking about going on and hammering into my backlog, and then I realize that I've got other adult shit I have to do, so I don't. So I'm pretty much just in stasis playing probably just GTA until Spider-Man comes out.
Cool. All right. I'm the opposite of you. This is like gaming season is about to start, so I've been getting like flooded with games to play, to review. I can only really talk about one right now, but I am gonna have fun with you guys for the other two. But I played Yakuza Kiwami 2. This, man, you already know me, man. I love Yakuza, so this one is cool. But the interesting thing is, I didn't actually play Kiwami 1. I never got around to it, but this game does a nice job of easing you into it. But the interesting thing about this game one is it actually runs on the Dragon engine, which debuted with Yakuza 6, right? So it's mad smooth now. Like when you go into buildings, it's a smooth transition. When you go into battles, it's a smooth transition. Even the fighting itself, if you play Yakuza, Kiryu, like even if the fighting is great, like he still feels a little stiff. All that's gone. It's mad smooth, and it still has that Yakuza-ness, or it's like, you have this serious dude, Kiryu, and these insane situations happening around him, A lot of fun stuff right there, but I definitely, I want to go back and play Kiwami and then play Kiwami 2. And I'm also playing two games. Again, I don't think I can say what they are right now, but I'm going to give you guys some clues, and let's see who gets it right, even though I can't confirm if you're right. One of them is a new entry in a long-running series. This is actually my first experience with them. This game, I'm like, I didn't even have it on my fucking radar. I'm like, okay, that's coming out. That's cool. The graphics look nice.
That sounds like Sonic.
Yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with this game. Like, I still have like 3 weeks to play. I'm like, I can't stop playing now. It is so fucking good, And the other one is... this one is a remaster, not a remake of another big franchise that I recently got obsessed with in January, and this is a bit of a throwback. That's all I'm going to say about that. I think you guys could guess. Let's just say this game was on every platform. It recently came out to PC, and this one is coming out for the other system, and it's a throwback. I think you guys could guess. It's rough going back, people. That's all I'm going to say about that. I can't confirm this. Spider-Man is not one of these games. Spider-Man's not a remake or an entry in a long-running franchise, bro. Oh, but Spider-Man games.
So how are you enjoying Shenmue, Tony?
Huh? Oh, it's not. It's not Shenmue either. I could confirm that. I could at least say the game said it's not. It's not Shenmue. Everybody. By the way, everybody said that you're Shenmue. Like, no, it's not Shenmue. Not Shenmue at all. And the thing is, I'm probably gonna get. Spider-Man's probably gonna be coming. Tomb Raider's gonna be coming. So I'm gonna be like, basically, my life is just work and playing games for work. So that's it, man. And it sucks because Attack on Titan is about to start on Cartoon Network. So I'm like, am I even gonna have time for this shit? I think I got
time.
Yeah.
It's 30 minutes, bro.
But then again, you know what, Carlos, you're right, because when season 2 came out, I was almost in the exact same position. I made time for Attack on Titans.
You make time for Attack on Titan.
Hell fucking yeah. And it's only 20 minutes anyway,
It's more political this season 2. Shit.
Oh shit, man! They got Trump in that bitch, man. Oh shit,
The
Adam!
most terrifying Titan.
Can you imagine that? By the way, Adam, man. All I gotta say is Adam issues.
Oh, he got technical difficulties, man.
Wow. No, basically he unplugged the USB portable and it restarted his PC. Now it's asking him, and now Windows is asking to do updates. Oh God.
Oh,
He's gonna be here
damn.
all night, son. You know. All right, so that's gonna. Oh, there he is, Adam. Oh, yes, yes, he's back, baby.
All right, that was weird.
Yeah.
So I was transferring data from one portable to another, and then I was done with it. So I unplugged it, and for some reason, the whole fucking computer reboot. And I guess it's been a while since I did a reboot. So Windows had like a fucking million updates and kept installing and restarting and installing and restarting.
Yeah, Adam, you're about to go next, but we were doing games we played. Again, I could just say the games I'm not playing. I am not playing Dark Souls Remastered. Fist of the North Star, I did play a demo of it, but I can't tell you what I thought of it. But get ready if you're a fan of that franchise. Oh my Shinderu. Joey, I'm staying quiet. Come on, guys. And Hussein, I'm staying quiet too, brother.
Yeah, but next month it's gonna be Gamageddon, man. So we're gonna have a lot of talk about, and we're all gonna be busy because like September you have Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And Spider and Tomb Raider, you said?
Yeah, Tomb Raider,
Comes
Shadow
out in
Tomb
September.
Raider.
Yeah, and then October, it's Red Dead. Red Dead all day, man. And if you care about Battlefield,
yeah,
I don't. But
I don't care about. For me, I'm the big one for the beginning of October. Mega Man. I can't fucking wait.
Mega Man.
Can we talk about like Battlefield 5 like real quick?
Go ahead, bro.
Like there was, I can't remember his name, but like some guy just like quit EA like 2 days ago.
Oh, the big boss.
Yeah, he was the head of their like enter team or something. There's a big dude there. The thing is, he mouthed off at fans who didn't like the teaser trailer because they're like it's on historical accurate or whatever. It's this lady with she has like a cybernetic arm or something, or she has like a robot arm in there, and they're like it's weird. So they commented on it, and he's like, well, if you don't like it, you're uneducated. Probably the wrong thing to say. And then a couple weeks later he's out of the company.
Yeah, this is like
customer base doesn't help sell your product.
Yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Patrick Soderlund, yeah.
That's the thing. Like, they also just revealed that the Battlefield 5 pre-orders are very, very low.
Very weak. That was the quote. They're very weak.
which given like again, I think is down to lots of small different things, and one of them is definitely the PR surrounding it. In that it's not that great. I mean, if you tell people not to buy your games because they need to go and fuck themselves, then they won't buy the games. So
yeah,
that's a thing. And then also you need to remember that what's it called? People tend to buy people tend to base like the next release of a game based on the prior one, and technically speaking, the prior quote unquote Battlefield-esque game was Star Wars Battlefront 2, which no one really liked.
Oh shit!
Maybe people are still like holding that like in heart. And also you need to remember that again, Gamageddon, it comes out between Spider-Man, Red Dead, and Call of Duty. So there's all that competition.
They have no goodwill.
Yeah, so I don't think that it's just his dumbass statements. I think it's just everything else. But still, you just cannot be saying that to people. Like, I don't understand how people can like think like that. If you turn around and say to your fan base, if you don't like it, then don't buy it. You then cannot be surprised when people don't buy it. Like
that sounds familiar. Tony knows what. That sounds like Marvel rhetoric. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Also, telling your fans to fuck themselves, that also doesn't work well for movies either. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Man, and then, I'm going to throw this out there. If this game doesn't perform that well, our gamer's going to be blamed, and you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Well, okay, they're going to blame the consumers and the fans, and that's not fair. They're all too busy fucking themselves to go buy your game.
Oh, Jesus. But it's like, by the way, Brian, I didn't think about it, but you're right. It's like, you know, because you wouldn't associate Star Wars with Battlefield, but it's all EA, right?
Yeah, it's like the last EA shooting game. It's like, oh, it had microtransactions. It was like nonsense. And then they'll turn around like, oh, EA, we have Battlefield 5 now. It's like, does that have microtransactions?
Yo,
Probably
Brian,
does.
I
And
saw
people are like,
Battlefield.
oh.
I saw Star Wars Battlefront 2 on sale. I am not exaggerating. $10 last week.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
Nobody
surprised.
wants that shit, and EA has no goodwill. Like I just saw a preview of Madden, and people are pissed about the cards that they put in there. I think Adam mentioned it with FIFA, but they have that shit for Madden now, and you gotta
It's
pay.
had it for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, the month system. Yeah, they put it in there, and you gotta. You could pay like $100 for a pack, and it's like it's ridiculous. Yo, so fuck them, man.
Man, that's crazy, bro. All right, Adam, man, what have you been playing lately, bro?
The Division. Still playing the Division, but just getting the shields. Now I got all the shields, and they just released another shield. There's 12 shields, and there's just 5 out now.
When do they have Captain America shield?
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
That's shit I want,
but
man.
that's like these other weird shields. So these shields are the things that you complete these challenges, and then you get unlocks for Division 2. So all the stuff is working toward Division 2 stuff. So now they just released a new one today, and it's in survival mode, and so that's a whole I hate that mode. A lot of people hate it. It's tough and it takes time. It's long. It's not like you can bring in all your gear. You go in there, pretty much it's a blizzard, and you have to find gear and you have to keep warm. And it sort of has that Lost Planet feel. Remember in Lost Planet, we have to run around and try to get heat or else you freeze to death. It's the same type of thing, right? So you got to do that, and at the same time, you're trying to find stuff to extract and to get yourself out of there. And then there's hunters and all these other people after you. So pain in the ass, but there's a bunch of stuff, and I'm hoping that me and the crew that I play with, we can go in there and try to bang this out so we never have to go back again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of something. Then FIFA, played some FIFA 18. You know, when I went to New York with my brother and stuff, we were playing. Jumped into FIFA again, and that's pretty much it.
No Game Boy stuff, man?
No, I brought my Game Boy, and my daughter didn't want to play, and then I put WarioWare. They put WarioWare. That's now available. That was the Japanese version. That game, it's now on 3DS. So I loaded that, and I didn't get much time to play with it. But I did play some Nintendo. I played the Toad one. What's it called?
Battletoads?
Captain Toad.
Captain Toad. That was the Captain Toad. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's a
That
good
was
game,
fun.
yeah.
It's a fun game. Yeah, a little puzzler. I like that one.
Yeah, by the way, that's going to get lost in the shuffle. You know, us giving props to Nintendo games. Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Captain Toad is fun, man. You know,
Yeah.
oh man, I got a little bit of a Switch backlog. I got that. I got Bayonetta. What else have I got?
Did you play Pocket Rumble yet? That's a fun one, man.
Pocket Rumble? What's that?
Oh yeah, it's a beat 'em up, but it's a good beat 'em up, and it's only 2 buttons. So it's like you use a D-pad, but it's all like the combo of like back and then A B, and you do like a super move and stuff. It's really cool. Try that. It works at the demo on that one, Pocket Rumble. That's a fun one.
Yeah. By the way, since we're filling time here, funny little story for you guys, right? It's, you know, gaming related. So a couple days ago, Insomniac tweeted out some pictures of a Spider-Man train that's running in New York, right? Carlos sent that shit to me, and I got fucked up when I'm looking at this train. I'm like, that shit don't look like no New York train I know. Like the inside was all like, not only did it not have seats, like it had these like yellow handlebars and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, is that from LA? And people are telling me, like, no, that's a shuttle train from Times Square to Grand Central. And I'm like, there's a shuttle train for four blocks? Because Adam, you know me, son. Like, I just walked that distance, you know? Like, really?
It's all the way down in the subway. You have to take all the ramps down, and there is a shuttle.
That's interesting.
That
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, yo, where is that located? You know, like, because like I know there, like the lowest I thought it was when it was the subway where I usually go. You know.
Yeah, no, you'll see, and it has an S on it on the front.
It's an S. Yeah, it's a shuttle. But that was pretty cool. It was a nice little train for Spider-Man. But my thing is like, yo, Spider-Man is from Queens. You can't have a Queens train do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That should have been the R train. Or the 7 train.
The 7 train, exactly. You know, yeah, one of them.
Where did he live in Queens?
He lived in Forest Hills. He lived in Forest Hills.
That was in Forest Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So then, yeah. So wait, no. Well, yeah, I'm just thinking of what they showed for the Sam Raimi one.
Yeah,
Remember when
yeah.
they showed the house, because they do show an above ground train.
I think that's the LIRR though in that area.
Was it, right? That was the That was the Long Island one. So then,
But yeah, it's like, yo, you can't have a Queens train, but the train looks fucking legit, man. And there's even like a Daily Bugle in there too, you know.
It makes sense because it's just one train that goes back and forth.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, how long is that ride? Like a minute, you know?
Damn, it's been a while since I've taken it.
Yeah. By the way, Barry says that the S stands for hope. The train. Oh man! By the way, I do want to say this though, since we're on the topic of RPGs. I was talking about Octopath and Nintendo and stuff. Again, a certain RPG that I'm playing now made me realize why I don't like Octopath that much. It's because my main problem with Octopath is the grinding. It's too much of it too early, right? This game doesn't do that shit. Like, you can grind if you want to, but in the early stages, you don't really need to. You get through the story nicely. Now I'm at a point where I kind of do need to grind, but even the grinding itself goes by fairly quickly, right? Octopath, when you want to grind, each match takes like 10 fucking minutes. That's not effective grinding. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the reasons I'm like, I don't got time for this. But yet I could do, like, basically in the same amount of time it takes me to do 2 matches in Octopath, I could already grind it like 10 times in this other game, you know? So I'm like, okay, so there is a kind of balance that you need to do with RPGs when it comes to like level balancing and shit like that. And this game does it very, very well. You know, it made me appreciate that sort of stuff even more, you know? Again, I don't mind level grinding, but you got to save that stuff for a little bit later, not at the fucking beginning of the game. That's the same reason I had to stop playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Too much grinding in the beginning, even though the game was fucking legit, you know? But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us, man. So let me pop up this screen here, and we'll wrap it up. So thank you for watching and listening. Subscribe to Throwdown on SoundCloud, iTunes, and YouTube. Follow us on Twitch, Mixer, Twitter, Periscope, and Facebook at Throwdown Show. Links are located in the description below. Once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and joined by Chris Seeley.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Brett Murdoch.
It's the real party, people.
Adam Vale.
Get ready for SummerSlam. We'll talk about it tomorrow. WrestleCast, SummerSlam weekend. Woo! Hulk Hogan for life.
And Brian Manjoma.
And remember, they aren't demons, they're mortally challenged.
Yes. Hey, Earth is a melting pot, man. That's all I'm going to say about that. We'll see you guys on Sunday, man. Later.
Peace.
Deuces.
Peace.